TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Who did you travel with?
Oh, God forbid. I traveled by myself mostly, but I did. Right. I had the privilege of traveling a lot with Bobby Heenan.
Right.
I don't know if that was by design, but we did work together so many years, and a lot of that is in the book, if and when it comes out. I'm sure if I were to buy the farm tomorrow, my wife would peddle it to somebody for $1 million. They'd read it and say, if I can read it and like it, I'll pay you.
Right.
And everything is in that book.
Any good road stories you want to share with us? Any ribs or anything like that?
Bobby Heenan's so quick.
Right.
And Bobby loved to have a cocktail. And Bobby wanted to fly first class. We were in, I'm thinking, Salt Lake City, and we were going to run in Okerlund the next day.
Right. But
there was no first class flight. There was Southwest and some other commuter airline out there where you could fly in an hour and a half from Salt Lake to Oakland, California. Bobby said, no, we're going first class. And he says, I've got you booked on the same flight. We're going to go. This is with WCW. This is how ridiculous it got. We had to fly from Salt Lake back to Denver on United and catch a flight that had first class into Oakland. The thing took us about 5 or 6 hours. Heenan drank all the whiskey in the world.
Right.
And of course, I was right there with him.
Right.
But on the second flight, he puts his luggage in the overhead, and he's having a hell of a time banging it in there. So he's popping on it. And of course, he's half in the bag.
Right.
And some guy walks in and says, are you all right, sir? Bobby turns around and looks at him and says, what the hell are you, a doctor?
That's great.
Brought me to my knees. Yeah.
Bobby Heenan talks a lot about Tony Schiavone being untrustworthy and slimy. Do you agree?
Well, Tony was the consummate politician. And I personally like Tony. I didn't have a lot of problems with him. But Tony watched out for Tony.
Right.
And in doing so, he had a tendency to bury people along the way. And that's where he got kind of the rep, if you will, that he was not trustworthy.
Memories of working with Bobby Heenan in AWA.
Oh, God, are you serious? Where do I start with him? I've been in this business for 35 years as of April. And Bobby Heenan and myself have worked probably 30 or 31 years out of that 35-year span together. We worked together in the AWA. Obviously, we worked together in the WWF, round one. I went down to Atlanta at WCW and worked down there. And the first suggestion I made to Eric Bischoff was, you need to get Bobby Heenan. His contract is expiring. He's got a 6-month non-compete, but I think we need him here. I'm a big fan of Bobby Heenan's. Why wouldn't you be a big fan? He's clever, and he can show so much emotion. As a manager, there was none better. And even as a color guy on television, I thought that he and Jesse, Kurt Hennig, I like Kurt, Jerry Lawler, but Bobby just didn't want to be a manager anymore, didn't want to go on the road, so he wanted to be a broadcaster, and a good one he was. I still stay in contact with him to this very day. I feel bad about Bobby and that throat thing because the throat cancer has essentially taken his livelihood away. Now, whether Bobby would be in retirement now or be working, I'm sorry, that might be Vince McMahon wondering what the hell we're doing here.
You want me to pause it?
There. No, don't pause it. Don't pause it. I'll take it here. Hello, Kevin? Yeah. Let me buzz you back. I'm doing an interview with some people here from Philadelphia. Thank you. Kevin Dunn.
Gotcha.
Good friend. You know what? I do it on a golf course. I'm going to turn it off here.
Thank you.
Wouldn't you say? Nice play. Sorry about that.
That's
Now,
okay.
where were we?
We're talking about Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Oh, Bobby. The unfortunate part about this, he both surgery and he had radiation, and it paralyzed his vocal cords, and he's learning to speak all over again. For somebody that was so glib, that was so good, that was so quick with wit, and had the ability to put his boys over and really take and amplify or magnify an angle, an issue, there just was none better. I remember when he came into Madison Square Garden for the very first time, we had done a few interviews on television, and as we kind of got into week 2, 3, 4, I made reference to him as, well, you're going to be in the Garden on January the 6th, or you're going to weasel out of this deal too. By the time he got to the Garden, 6 weeks later, the chant of weasel, weasel, it was there already.
How good was it to come back at WrestleMania and your memories of calling the Battle Royal with Bobby Heenan?
The gimmick battle royal?
Right.
How would you like to have been a Viagra salesman in the middle of that ring? You could have scored a fortune.
Right.
You know what? It was fun. And we knew from the beginning that it was going to be fun. And that's why I'd bring out those old cliches, Hillbilly Jim in there, guy that goes bear hunting with a switch. Only 2 ways you can be down there in Mudlick. That was a big old good 'un or a good old big 'un. So, but it brought out all of those
Right.
old terms and descriptions of the boys.
Did you ever have aspirations to write a book?
Oh, I have got a manuscript that probably is somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,200 pages, and but it's something that I've worked at. It's a work in progress because I want to be able to tell the whole story. I want to be able to have lived the final chapter
Right.
when it's written.
You gotta wait till you're out of business then.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to step on a lot of toes.
Right. Any regrets?
No regrets. No regrets. Even the changes.
Right.
Even the bad things that happened for a reason. The changes for a reason made me a better person.
Is there anything that you want to say to your fans out there that you might have never had a chance to say before?
Well, I'm sure I had a chance to say. I even my critics, I say, fine, go right ahead. But the fans, and I've got a lot of them. The one thing I want to say is, where the hell did you get a hold of my home address? That you're sending mail to me at my house along with my bills. Forget about it. I've moved. I'm out of here.
Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
I think I'm still going to be doing some wrestling, health permitting. But I mean, I travel a pretty good schedule right now. Going through an airport today, gentlemen, is not the easiest thing in the world.
Right.
When they take the mousse out of my top kit for my hair,
Right.
I got hot.
TitleMatchNetwork.com